Commissioner Colleen,
Here.
Chair Dobb,
Here,
you have a quorum present.
thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
Okay, so we do have the resolution regarding the ceasefire on the agenda today. There has been a lot of interest from the public on this item. So I just wanted to say that I have received a large volume of emails in support of passing this resolution. And I don't know if there are a lot of people on the call today regarding this for public comments, or if there's anyone in the room today who would like to make a public comment. But we will have public comments at the end of the meeting after the vote. And in the interest of time, I'm going to limit public comments to 1 minute. We did, receive all your messages by email, so I do know that, we've read those and we have received your messages. So we're just going to limit public comments to 1 minute today. Madam Clerk, next item.
C, approval of the November 29th, 2023 meeting minutes.
It's been moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Basham. Please vote if there's no discussion.
Motion carried.
Next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
All right, next item.
Item 1, under new business, a resolution by Commissioners Basham, Baydun, Clemente, Dodd, Pattis, Colleen, Kniezek, and Scott, condemning all acts of violence against the Israeli and Palestinian people and mourning the loss of all civilian lives and hostages.
All right, so is there any discussion on this resolution? We have Commissioner Basham.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say that
Oh, is your microphone on?
it's on, but I didn't know if you want to hear me or not. So, no, this is an item that is something, if I could stop this, I'd have done it yesterday or the day before, but I don't have the authority. But as you can see on this resolution, a lot of times the resolutions don't even come in front of a committee. They could vote on there, but we've got enough folks that's sponsoring this resolution in committee and otherwise that says it's going to pass regardless. So without, going back and forth on this thing, I would move it yesterday or right now if you want. So that's what I wanted to say, that I'm full support of this and I'd like to move it if possible.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Kniezek.
there's 3 very brief amendments I'd like to offer on the resolution to reflect the reality of particularly the numbers today. I don't know how and when or where you'd like me to bring that forward, but before we move forward, I wanted to simply raise it so that I'd have that opportunity when appropriate.
All right, Commission Counsel or Madam Clerk, how should we go about doing this?
Through the chair, those amendments can be made today. I just need to find a copy so we can track them. Do you have a copy, Joe? Okay, so Joe's tracking.
Get it closer to you.
So if you want to
Okay.
go through them.
Commissioner Kniezek, go ahead with your first amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in the first paragraph, trying to zoom in on my phone here, I apologize. First paragraph, first sentence. I would move to strike the words Middle Eastern and North African groups in the United States and replace that with the words Arab Americans. And if you'd like me to continue going, I'd be happy to do so.
Joe's all set? Okay.
Thank you,
Please.
Joe. In the third paragraph, I'd like to strike the number 15,000 and replace that with 18,000. Also in the third paragraph, I'd like to strike the language that says 2/3 and replace it with 70%. Lots of my amendments, Madam Chair.
Okay, is that
That is a
is that a
motion.
motion? All right.
I
Is
support the motion.
there support? Okay, it's been, the motion to amend the language has been moved by Commissioner Kniezek.
Yeah.
Too many Ks. And supported by Commissioner Colleen.
Not enough cake. Different-
I think that's enough. Is there any discussion on this motion? All right, hearing none. Are we all set to vote? Okay, let's vote on this motion.
We have to move the motion, we have to move the resolution as amended.
I think right now we're just voting on the amendments to the resolution.
Oh,
Yes.
Just the amendment.
The
Just the
amendments,
amendments.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Somebody keep me straight.
Motion carried.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So now. Clear the board here. Is there any further discussion before we have a vote on moving the item? All right, hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve item number 1 as amended?
So move.
Is it? Mine's not.
Not on my,
Do I need to?
can I do audible, Madam Chair?
Yes, it's been moved. Been moved by Commissioner Basham, seconded by Commissioner Colleen.
System catch up.
Okay.
Ooh.
I thought it was just mine. All right, here we go.
Oh, now we're there.
Okay, and once it's up on the screen, please vote.
Motion carried.
Great. Thank you. Next item.
Item 2, forwarding report on Treasurer's Office. This is the right one. Item 2, forwarding report on Treasurer's Office legal cases comparing the results for the 2021 through 2022 and 2022 through 2023 fiscal years.
Does anyone have any questions on this item? Or is there anyone here from the treasurer's office who wanted to speak on this? All right, I think we're all set. Oh, Commissioner Colleen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Got to remember to hit all my buttons and
I'm
everything.
moving
Thank
along
you.
too fast.
Big jump in the matters that were concluded from fiscal year 21, 22 to 22, 23. It almost doubled. Does anybody have any insight as to why that might be?
Is anyone here from the treasurer's office or on Zoom to answer Commissioner Colleen's question? No.
If not, Madam Chair, I'll just, I'll
Maybe-
raise that at
maybe we
another
can hold
time.
that
But
question
yeah,
for
it
full
is a
board.
very
Okay.
large jump from 276 to 451.
Mhm.
So just curious about that. Thank you, Madam.
Yes,
Sure.
I also just noticed on the letter, it is addressed to me, but then it says Dear Commissioner Webb. So maybe someone can fix
Bell.
that.
There is a resemblance.
No. Okay, let's go through the rest of the report and then we'll vote on the rest of the items together. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 3, communication from the Department of Personnel, Human Resources, forwarding a report on union committee meetings in the 2022 through 2023 fiscal year.
All right, any questions or discussion on this item, item number 3? Okay, hearing none. Next item.
Item 4, forwarding report on the Department of Corporation Counsel, Human Relations, Business Inclusion Division, activities and achievements.
Questions on this item? Okay, next item.
This looks good.
Item 5, forwarding report on all outside legal counsel used by the Department of Corporation Counsel for fiscal year 2022. Item 5, forwarding report on all outside legal counsel used by the Department of Corporation Counsel for fiscal year 2022 through 2023.
We do? Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm skipping over two. Okay, any questions on item number 5?
Nope.
For outside legal counsel? Okay, good on all the reports. Next item, please.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of Amendment 2 to a subscription services agreement and case management services order form with 3 one-year options to renew with PS Technologies, Inc., DBA Legal Server for software for the Indigent Defense Services Department to manage appointed counsel caseloads.
All right. Thank you. Yes, please join us at the table. Yeah, that microphone doesn't work. No, the one at the podium doesn't work.
Just once.
Just, yeah, it's kind of sensitive. All right, please introduce yourself, name and title for the record,
Yes,
and then whoever wants to speak on this.
thank you, Commissioner Dobb. Good morning, Commissioners. Robin Dillard-Rusaw, Director of the Indigent Defense Services Department.
Jill Recker, the IT manager for the Indigent Defense Services Department.
Kimberly Dorsey, the fiscal grant manager for IDSD as well.
All right. Give us just a brief summary on this item.
This is the case management software we procured at the end of this calendar year 2021. This is the second of our 3 options to renew. We are still proceeding with implementation for some of the core operations for assignment and payment of counsel, though we do have our investigator and expert, as well as our Defender Support Unit social work initiatives live in the system. We would like to continue to use this while we can learn more and develop further policies, procedures in the interest of ensuring that we are still proceeding with the best possible path. We are simultaneously engaged with procurement to RFP services for advance research prior to the 3rd option to renew for the subsequent year.
Do we have any questions for indigent defense? Commissioner Kleen?
Case management, I get. And I guess you can't share with the prosecutor and what she has. Okay. So I didn't quite understand what kind of data are you hoping to get? Because you're talking about going to a super case management system in the near future. What's the kind of data that you're looking for out of this?
So it's less of a data analytics platform so much as a procedural operations platform. With case management, it's a little bit of a misnomer because we are an administrative office. We are not trying to keep confidential, like deep, distinct case level information, but we need to have sufficient information from the district and feeder courts to be able to assign qualified counsel to cases. So we need to be able to have what are the distinct case tracking numbers, who are the defendants, what charge are they facing, so that we can ensure that a quality defender with the appropriate CLE and years of experience are assigned to counsel, as well as making sure that we are complying with our contractual obligations to our public defense office contract with Neighborhood Defender Services Detroit.
If I may add as well,
That's
Commissioner
good.
Kleen. So to your point, while the case management system itself is for an administrative purposes, if you recall,
Yeah.
part of what we also want to capture through our Defender Support Program and investigator expert usage is compliance with the standards. So that case management system will also be able to give us case outcomes to a certain extent as it relates to our programming. So the social worker needs, the investigator expert usage by attorneys, and we want to be able to capture that information at case end as well. So we will have some data capability, but to Jill's point, the actual system is more of an administrative function rather than
Yeah.
court function.
It's still case management, but a
Correct.
little bit different.
A little bit
than
different.
The way it
Correct.
is in the courts. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else? Okay, all right, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of Amendment 2 to a 1-year comparable source professional services contract with the 1-year option to renew with Tamara Knapp Advisory LLC to provide move management and consulting services for the criminal justice complex.
Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, question about why is it a comparable source? And the other thing is like, if you're going to subcontract something out, how much benefit do you get for 225 for collaborations, from Wolf Collaborations of Warren and so on and so forth? I just, some flags popped up on this item that I couldn't help but raise. So that's my concern about the item. Thank you.
Through the chair, Aaron Wagner, Chief Administrative Officer. I believe Ms. Knapp is on Zoom as well. I do know that initially, Tamara Knapp's expertise in helping move buildings or help with the moving organizations from existing buildings into new buildings has been crucially important in this project. She's worked very closely with CGL and the county in helping map out what the activities for the administrative or the transition teams are in moving over both administrative, sheriff's office, the clerks. And so, as we are getting closer to turnover and final completion of this building, it is imperative that we have continuity with this contract.
I guess my question, if I may, Madam Chair, is $225 from Wolf. What are they doing specifically?
Through the chair, I do know that, as we do have a requirement to report all subcontractors that our contracted companies work with. And, as small as these may seem, they are activities that are crucially important for this particular contract. And so it may seem like small dollar amounts of the overall expenditure. She's reporting everything that is a subcontractor that follows under the procurement ordinance.
So I guess it still don't get me there. It's like, what is so important that Wolf subcontracts for that's $225? Just
Through the chair, Tamara, are you on Zoom?
I am. Thank you for letting me speak, and my apologies that I'm not there in person. Wolf Collaborations and the Purpose Venture, it's very basic administrative, providing updated Excel sheets. So that's why it's so small. It's not a significant amount of work that they do for me.
Then why do we even contract it out? That's my question.
Because I had to say that they were working with me as part of my contract. So it was just in complete transparency that I was having these two individuals assist me in the beginning of the contract with some of that administrative work. They're no longer, I'm not using them at the present time. It was part of the initial contract.
And I guess my concern was, you said your answer was to say that they're working with me, but I guess for $225 for basic stuff that I'm hearing you guys say, why do you even contract out with Wolf Contracting? Wolf Collaborations?
I'm hopeful to answer your question, sir. This was in the very beginning of my contract with administrative. So taking notes while we were on calls, documenting items. Again, I'm not contracting with them currently. They don't provide any of those services. To your point, I am doing all of that myself.
So that was prior to you coming on that they were?
No, sir, that was in the very beginning of my first contract.
Through the chair, Commissioner Basham, this would have been part of the base contract. And so the initial subcontractor form, when this contract was initially put through, these were services to get the contract up and running and build out the templates to help with the transition teams that they're using today. That was a one-time expenditure.
And you'll probably get a reluctant yes from me, Madam Chair, but you did raise flags. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kniezek.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Aaron, I wasn't tracking entirely on the extension and the transition of the work. I remember obviously when this came through the first time and the pitch was that we needed Ms. Knapp's leadership and experience as it relates to moving from building to building. I don't think what you're saying is that we expect the building to open in 7.5 months, which is the extension of the contract. But what you're saying is that we're going to move into the building sooner than that. And then we need her to stay on to serve what purpose if everything has been moved already from building to building?
Ms. Knapp's contract is helping not only coordinate the move of those buildings, but once those buildings are vacated that Rock owns, helping coordinate with the sale of surplus items and the removal and winding down of the buildings that we will no longer own or
Okay.
occupy.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Khalil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to review a couple of things, picking up on your last comment. So Rock currently owns Frank Murphy,
Correct.
the properties where the jails sit, and the properties where the JDF, Juvenile Detention Facility, is,
That's correct.
and probably the old mud lot.
Yes, that is correct.
They own it. What is the county currently paying Rock for staying on those sites?
I believe it's a $1 transaction.
That's what I understood too. But at some point, and it's referred to in here, and we're not there yet, we're gonna declare a 6-month relocation, that we would have 6 months to move into the new facility. Correct? Once that's,
Well, once the facility is turned over to the county, that would start the clock of the
that's
6
the
months.
6-month declaration, right?
Correct.
What does the rent for the properties downtown to Rock, how does that change if it takes us 7 months to move in?
I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, we have Matthew McNaughton from Zausber. That's.
I
with
just
us as
need a
well.
number.
I believe it's $500,000 a month.
That's
it-
correct.
Yeah, so my point is, in asking that is, we have a huge interest in getting it done in 6 months and less,
Or less. Yeah,
because it gets awful expensive if we go beyond that.
that is correct.
And when you look at the skills people or whatever you have, that's when you turn to this and say, hey, we need to bring somebody in that's done this before, that has the appropriate checklist, so we don't get caught up in anything
That is.
that would
correct.
delay,
Yes,
an expensive delay.
a very expensive
Yeah.
delay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Item 7. Okay, thank you. Next item.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of Amendment 2 to a 2-year legal services agreement with Dickinson Wright PLLC to amend Exhibits A and B for the Department of Public Services investigation matter.
Those two. Name and title for the record and brief summary.
Good afternoon, Sue Hamo, Deputy Corporation Counsel. This is a modification to a legal services contract to Dickinson Wright, who has been conducting the investigation into the DPS incidents involving the embezzlement issues. I believe the last COW meeting, James represented to this honorable body that the investigation phase is complete, and we will be moving into a phase of recovering the monies that the county lost. And that's the purpose of extending this contract.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Commissioner Khalil.
Yeah, so that's why we're going out to 25 is
Correct.
for the recovery.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah, because
we've,
these guys already pled.
well, this is dealing with the vendors, not the individuals.
Oh, it's from the vendors. We have
Yes.
to,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. You're staying up here for a while?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I have the rest of the agenda.
Okay, great. Next item, please.
Item 9, requesting commission approval of Amendment 4 to a 2-year legal services agreement with Plunkett Cooney PC and the Larry Smith versus Wayne County et al. Matter.
This is just a modification for time. I was here a short while ago modifying funds on this, and we didn't realize that time was expiring as well. Dispositive motions have been filed and heard in this case, so we are just waiting the outcome of what the court does with the case from there,
So this one should be wrapping up.
hopefully. And if it doesn't wrap up, then we'll be back for a
for one
modification.
time. Okay. All right, any questions?
Good.
Next item.
Item 10, requesting commission approval of Amendment 4 to a 2-year legal services agreement with Plunk & Cooney PC in the Raymond Ward versus Wayne County et al. Matter.
Can I say ditto to what I just said before?
This is just
It's the
exact
same thing,
time.
same thing, yeah.
Okay. All right, questions on item 10? Okay, next item.
Item 11, requesting commission approval of a legal services agreement with the Miller Law Firm PC to provide services in pursuit of legal claims against various manufacturers, pharmacy benefit managers, and related entities arising from their collusive scheme to artificially inflate the price of insulin to achieve larger profits.
This is a legal services contract where we will be suing insulin manufacturers in the same manner that we did with the opioid litigation. Mr. Hollowell apologizes. He's in trial. He could not be here this afternoon, but his partner Sharon Ullman, is here. We do have a complaint drafted and ready to be filed, which will come, assuming approval of this legal services contract by this body.
Okay. Are there any, do we know if any other counties are signing on to this? Is it kind of similar to the opioid? Where was there a requirement that all counties needed to sign on to that?
When the requirement was for the settlement.
Oh, the
Yes,
settlement,
the
yes,
settlement,
okay,
not for the actual litigation.
okay.
But I'll let Sharon answer if there are any counties signed up.
Is her microphone on, or can you move it closer? Just for the Zoom. Thank you.
There are some counties that are, we haven't filed for them yet, but that are reviewing with their commissions as well.
Okay.
Participating in the litigation, and we expect there will be some. And there are others throughout the country as well that are participating.
All right, great. Well, yeah, this is the first I've heard of this, so I'm very interested to hear more, and hopefully this will go well. Any other questions? Yes, okay.
Nope.
All right, thank you. Next item.
Item 12, requesting commission approval of Amendment 10 to a 2-year legal services contract with a 6-month option to renew with Zosmer PC to continue providing legal services with respect to Rock Ventures LLC proposal to build a criminal justice complex.
Modification for the CJC legal services contract. We're nearing the end, hopefully. I think the last modification that we did in this case, in this matter, we represented that it would get us to the end of the year, and here we are. We were just hopeful that we would have at least turned over or started moving in at this point. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but we anticipate hopefully turnover to be happening soon, and moving to start. This contract would take us until end of September, which is hopefully a few months after we've moved into the facility. I'm not saying this because he's here. Matt and his partner, associate Chris, have been instrumental in helping the county guide us through all the legal issues and the contracting that have come up in this matter. I can't say enough about how tremendous and what a great help that asset they've been to the county with this project.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Item 12. All right, I think we just all hope that we can get this done as soon as possible. Thank you for joining us. The next one is about the same. Oh, different.
No, it's a new one.
Different.
It's a new one.
A new one. Madam Clerk, next item, 13.
Item 13, requesting commission approval of a 2-year legal services agreement with Zosmer PC to provide legal services related to the county's effort to build a civil justice complex, which will include a civil courthouse, parking, and related facilities.
So as I represented, this is a new legal services contract. Zosmer will be assisting us. If this body will recall, when you approved the Third Circuit funding agreement, as part of that agreement, there was a caveat to discuss and start looking into building a civil justice facility. We are in the very preliminary stages of reviewing that. An RFP for design.
An RFP for feasibility and design is being contemplated, and we're looking to put that out to bid hopefully before the end of the year. The county has been working with the courts. I believe Frank Hardister from Third Circuit Court is on the line as one of our partners on this. In addition to the county's working with 36th District Court as well to see if they want to be included into the civil complex.
And what we've learned from the CJC is that we need excellent legal representation, which we have in Zosmer's office. And as I represented with the CJC, Matt and Chris have been instrumental, and they know the contract language, they know the county's procurement ordinance and the county's operations, and they really are the best possible option that we have for this matter.
Commissioner Khalil.
Yeah, your last comment, talking to who to see if they want to be included in what?
A civil justice complex that would contemplate the possibility of 36th District Court also being included in this. The solicitation will be set into two parts. The first part would be just Wayne County courts. So it would be Third Circuit Court, it would be the probate court, it would be family court, it would be the juvenile court. And then the second part would be if we were to include 36th District Court. Now, they would be responsible for their own costs, but it would be one complex that would entail
We're
all.
just exploring right now.
Just exploring, yes.
And so where that would be located or anything?
We don't know. Right.
But that would mean courts would come out of the Penobscot building. And hopefully,
K-Mac and Hall of Justice.
no, up on Warren, or up on the freeway by
Oh, Lincoln Hall of Justice.
Lincoln.
Yes,
Does that mean we would abandon that thing and
potentially,
knock
yes.
it down and?
Potentially,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, all right, well, good luck. That would be good. That was concerned me about the original jail project or the original criminal justice complex, that it didn't include all of that. So hopefully the economics work. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Kanizik.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't recall having had any conversations about the potential for a civil justice complex. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, just means I don't recall it. And so recognizing that it's a bit exploratory, is there any more that you can say in this meeting or perhaps afterwards? And again, I welcome you to correct me if I'm wrong. That's totally fine. Of proposed fund sources, what we think it could cost, anything additional to help me understand the need for the legal services within this exploratory sort of phase of this type of complex.
Through the chair, so that's one of the key elements of this solicitation, is to really understand what the needs are, what the potential costs would be, to help us identify, how we would facilitate paying for this, if it's wholly going to be a Wayne County endeavor or a joint venture between 36th District Court and Wayne County. And so there are a lot of questions on the table, but this is the very first step. Again, having Zosmer at the table from the inception, as we look to, once we determine, receive the solicitation back, get a little bit further along in getting responses and looking to the next steps of this, this facility versus, how we did the CJC. It is imperative that we do have a partner such as Zosmer at the table helping guide us.
And hasn't been brought up before? I mean, again, if it has, I apologize, but
Yes, it was.
committee or
No,
full
well,
board or what?
It was part of the, like I said, the Third Circuit funding agreement that was approved.
Okay.
By the commission.
Okay. Thank you.
Any last questions? Thank you. Next item?
Item 14, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 2-year legal services agreement with Long Street Law PLLC in the Wayne County Ethics Board Council matter.
Mr. Longstreet provides legal counsel to the Ethics Board in place of Corporation Counsel due to potential conflicts of interest.
Right.
Questions, comments? Nope. All right. That is the end for our items. So I will take a motion. Been moved by Commissioner Basham.
Yeah, I'll be it.
Supported by Commissioner Colleen. Yes, for 2 through 14, correct?
Yeah.
All right, please vote.
Motion carried.
Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
There are none. Next item.
G, public comments.
Okay. Let's, first, were there any emails submitted?
No emails were submitted.
Okay, is there anyone on Zoom or on the phone? Let's see, is there anyone on the phone who wants to make a public comment? And just speak now. Okay, anyone on Zoom, raise your hand or unmute yourself. Can you see anyone? Is there anyone on Zoom?
No one has their hand raised.
Okay,
Kind of a funny way here.
last call for Zoom comments. Okay, is there anyone in the room with us who would like to make a public comment? Okay, please join us at the table here. Not at the podium, that microphone doesn't work. Just come and sit at the table there. Yep. And then you might need to turn that microphone on if it's not, oh, Commissioner Colleen's gonna help you. Let's do 2.
Thank you.
And I did say at the beginning, we were gonna limit to 1 minute, but I'll give you 2 since you're the only one.
Thank you.
All right, so if you could state your name. for the
Yes,
record.
my name is Joshua Feinstein.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Commissioner, and good afternoon, Commissioners, everyone. Appreciate the chance to speak and make a statement. I am a proud Jewish American and Jewish American citizen. My family is the product of the Holocaust, both survivors and those who have perished. And I believe I represent the majority of Jews in the United States today. And I want to thank you for passing the motion for the humanitarian ceasefire resolution. At the end of the day, the majority of voting Americans support a ceasefire resolution. And our hope is that officials around the country will hear the voices of us, the people. The action that has been happened today, the actual motion to say the ceasefire should go for formal votes on the 19th is a step in the right direction. And our vision is that eventually, through these types of actions, a permanent and lasting ceasefire will be demanded of our officials in Washington. It will be orchestrated, and then it will come to fruition. So probably I've got 50 seconds left. So basically, look, as Jews, we have a saying for the Holocaust and genocide, which is never again. And when we say never again, we mean never again for anyone and anyone everywhere. And the reason the Nazis were able to commit ethnic cleansing is because people were complicit and silent and did not take action. Well, I want to thank you all for taking this action here today, because we are seeing a genocide take place, and this is a humanitarian issue. So, in closing, I want to say that these are the moments for us where we decide what it is to be a human being, where we actually have to define who we are. And I applaud the commission taking the right direction, taking the right step in the direction to help save lives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for joining us.
1 second left.
Oh, yeah, I'm very
Thanks
good on
again.
your time. Is there anyone else with us today who would like to make a public comment? Or anyone on Zoom? Last call. All right, hearing none, next item, Commissioner
make a
Basham
comment,
wants to
Madam
make a public comment.
I probably wouldn't say this, where did he go? Right here, sir. Oh, last, Thursday was probably the most stressful meeting that I've had since I've been here for over 13 years. I spent Thursday night, and Friday in, a hotel in Wyandotte called Henry Ford as a result of that. And so, for somebody, regardless of ethnicity, a Jewish fellow or an Arabic lady or whoever, to come forward and to try to do what they can to have the people at the top of governments to put a stop to this genocide is something I feel very, very personally strong about. And so I can't talk to people that make public comment, but I just want to let you know that I certainly appreciate them doing that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Adjournment.
It's been moved
So
by
moved,
Commissioner
Madam Chair.
Kenizik, supported by Commissioner.
ma'am.
Without objection, we are